Hi. So, there's so much that has happened. I had a boy come and visit me this week, a man actually, and I was in a little bubble with him for a day or two, which was really fun. Definitely considering him a lover. Oh no. But that was probably the highlight of my week. Now the low light of my week is that I've been played by a man who said that he was going to buy my car, but he lied to me. He only told me that he was going to buy my car just so he could try to get into my pants. And honestly, I'm just like icked out by this kind of behavior. Like, what the actual fuck? What the actual fuck? So let me just tell you. So basically what happened was, this guy, I met him at a party that I was DJing at. The woman that was hosting the party at her house, we had a really beautiful connection, and then I was telling her about my travel plans this year and that I'm Greek and all these things. And so she's like, I need to introduce you to my friend. Introduces me to her friend. He's really lovely and sweet. He's like, oh yeah, you're going to Bali. Oh yeah, you're going to Greece. I can help you out. I know people there. I'm like, great, thank you. But why? Why do you want to help me? What is your intention? You know, like, you don't know me. I'm a stranger. And I'm, to be quite frank, so sick of people coming into my life promising me the world that they want to help me, but not following through on their promises because they have ulterior motives, which is something that I have learned time after time. My gullibility is that. I'm also somebody, like, I project, right? So because I'm a very honest and authentic and transparent person, and I share my clear intentions and blah, 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 blah most of the time. And I can have compassion for him because there's moments in my life where I haven't been clear with my intentions and I've had ulterior motives as well. But ultimately, like, I've just seen this pattern and this archetype too many times. So basically, we get to this was in December. Fast forward to January, after Christmas, after New Year's, all the things. We catch up for dinner to talk about all the fucking things. He gets handsy, puts his hands on my leg, starts calling it a date. I'm like feeling uncomfortable but unable to speak in that moment because I was fawning. So for those of you who don't know what fawning is, oh, it's raining. I'm going to the beach today and it's raining. I'm going to my favorite beach. So for those of you who don't know what fawning is, so in Polyvagal Theory, and you can Google this, there are different nervous systems responses, and basically we have fight or flight, which is in the sympathetic nervous system. So when we're in rest and digest, we are in the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's when the nervous system is relaxed and you're regulated, you're able to rest, and you're able to digest your food, right? But what happens is when you're triggered, or when you're in a fight or flight response, when you have cortisol or adrenaline running through your system, your sympathetic nervous system is activated. And so your digestive system switches off, and a lot of people experience this day to day, which is why you might carry a little bit of weight around your belly. That's usually because you're not in rest and digest when you're eating. I have a health coaching certification, that's where I learned this. And so bringing your body into rest and digest, into parasympathetic nervous system, is so important just for the reason of digestion. A lot of people have gut problems where they think they're allergic to things and all that, but it's also nervous system related a lot of the time. Our gut is what produces serotonin, blah, 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 right? So when you're in fight or flight, you're either ready to fucking go and fight whatever the threat is to your survival, because that's what it is. The thing is, though, that the body is not able to differentiate between the threat of a lion in the jungle chasing you, or the threat of a deadline and not hitting that deadline, meaning that your job security is at risk, right? And so we're experiencing this very intelligent system in our bodies that keeps us safe and protected from death. Because without a job, we don't have money. Without money, we can't buy food. Without food, we can't survive. And so even though we're not consciously thinking about this, that's what's happening. That's on one level of the threat. Another level of threat is being rejected from the tribe, right? right? So if you act different, or if you don't conform, or if you do something that interrupts, like upsets somebody, that can also threaten your survival if you get rejected from the tribe. So that's why we have things like social conformity and people following the crowd and acting like sheep and not challenging the status quo, because on a primal level, belonging is a huge fucking thing for humans, right? We need to belong. You can look up Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which I know is something that hasn't been completed. I don't think he completed that. There's an extended version of that. If you're into psychology, you can do that. Look into that. So when I'm out with this guy on a subconscious level where I'm not even consciously, cognitively thinking about this, but if I disagree with him, I don't know how he's going to react to that, right? So as a safety mechanism, I have created a protective mechanism, which humans have, which is called fawning. So Polyvagal Theory suggests that we have the sympathetic nervous system activated when we are in fight or flight. But then when we get into a state of overwhelm, this is when we experience freeze and fawn. So freeze is when you numb out. When you feel depressed, you'll have suicidal ideations. You'll have all these experiences where like your body is just in this state of dissociation. You're kind of not really present. You can't feel anything. You're just totally numb, right? That's what happens when you're in the freeze response. Now the fawn response is people pleasing. And so this is like a passivity kind of, this is when we really modulate and dilute the way that we express ourselves, because it's a threat to our survival if we do something that is going to activate somebody else. So we try to keep the peace, and we do this with hypervigilance. You know, like there's a sense of hypervigilance when you're in that freeze response, when you're like really observant of your surroundings. Like everything becomes louder, the volume gets turned up of everything that's going on around you, and that is like, it's a survival mechanism. So a lot of people that have, like for me, when I go to a restaurant, I can't sit facing outwards from the wall and looking at the restaurant, because I won't be able to focus on the person that I'm talking to, because I have this deeply imprinted hypervigilant response of observing threats. Because when I was a child, that's what my childhood was like. I was constantly looking for threats because my stepdad was unpredictable and loud and aggressive and abusive emotionally, and emotionally violent. And so like I would walk around on eggshells, and I would be very fearful that I might set him off. And so the hypervigilance developed as a survival mechanism. And that's all my body knows, because that's what my childhood was like. And so I've had to train my nervous system. I have grief there because I feel for my inner child. But I have had to train my nervous system to feel safe in just normal fucking environments. And I know that there are people out there that are going to be watching this and thinking, fuck, I resonate. So what happened for me when I'm at dinner with this man and he's telling me that this is a date and he's touching my leg, I'm feeling uncomfortable in my body, and I'm like, okay, well, he said he wants to help me. This is not what I thought that this was. I'm just going to let it go. And then he started talking about kissing me, and I'm like, look, I don't kiss on the first date, for starters. And I didn't even know that this was a date. I didn't come into this thinking that this was a date. I said that to him. But what I should have said is, hey, that's not what this is. You said that you wanted to help me make connections in Bali, and you said that you wanted to help me with my passport. He did introduce me to a friend in Bali, but honestly, like, I have my own connections. I don't need his help in that sense for Bali. What I really needed help with was like understanding the legalities around getting a Greek passport. He said he had connections in the embassy, blah, blah, blah. So we have this conversation, and I'm just like feeling uncomfortable. And then we go to this club, and I applied to DJ there, and he's like, yeah, I'll bring all my friends, etc. And then he walks me to my car, and his car's parked next to mine, which is funny. And so I'm telling him that I'm going to sell my car. He's like, yeah, I'll help you sell your car. And I'm like, thank you. Say goodbye. I felt a bit icky because I don't think I was clear, because I was fawning. later because I felt like I needed to clear the air. I spoke to my lash lady and she was like, I would have said it right then and there. And she's such a fucking amazing woman, honestly. Like, she's so strong and so able to just be like, this isn't what it is, says it as it is. And I know that that's a weakness of mine. I'm aware of my weaknesses, and it's something that I'm consistently practicing in becoming better at, is communicating boundaries in the moment. And I'm generally pretty good at being authentic, but like in moments like that where I don't know somebody and I feel like I just really fucking need to get better at it. But I also accept where I'm at. And this is the thing, like I had the awareness that I was doing it, and I had created the time to essentially like reconcile my mistake. So I called him a couple days later and I said, listen, I need to be clear with you about what this is. This is not, we're not dating. I'm not interested in you in that way. You said that you wanted to help me. That's what I thought this is. If you want to help me, I'm so happy to receive your help. But if you have ulterior motives, I can't, you know? And so he's like, no, yeah, I'm here to help you. I'm like, are you serious about buying my car? He's like, yeah, of course, I'll help you out with that. We'll catch up for breakfast when you get back, because I was on my way to Melbourne and I was away for the last 3 weeks, had my brother's wedding, blah, blah, blah. So we organised breakfast when I get back, and I messaged him the night before and I said, hey, can we make it half an hour later because I'm a little bit late. I message him, he messages me in the morning at 6 a.m. and he cancels. I'm like, okay. Wants to reschedule for a drink instead. I'm like, I'm not fucking catching up with you for a drink, bro. And then I messaged him and I said, hey, I need to call you later. And then I was just like straight up, I was like, hey, I actually just need to know, because I was expecting to sell my fucking car that morning to him. I'm leaving in 2 weeks. That was like Monday. So I had 3 weeks to sell my car. I'm like, are you still interested in buying my car? And he's like, no, I'm going traveling too. And I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker. I was so livid. I was so fucking pissed. I wasn't pissed at him. Of course, on the surface, sure, I'm pissed at him. He's at fault. He's the one that fucked me around. I can be my victim about it and blame him. But really, I was pissed at myself. I was pissed at myself because I knew better. I knew better because I should have trusted my instincts when we first caught up and he was all talk and no walk. You know, like, I have compassion for him. The first time we caught up, when we caught up for dinner, he was talking about all his properties that he has all over the fucking world, and this property here and this property there and blah, blah, blah. This man's in his mid-50s and he's like, you know, retired, celebrating him in that. But I had just written an article for my friend who runs this beautiful online magazine called Serena, and I wrote an article about like the difference between, just a man who is like naturally confident, and one of the pieces was talking about the difference between arrogance and confidence. And arrogance comes from a very insecure place. When we're arrogant, we are trying to prove ourselves. We are swinging our dicks around and flashing how big our wallets are, which is what I felt was happening with him. And I get that, you know, I get that there is an insecurity there. I get that it's coming from a place of trying to find external validation from material things or whatever he's achieved in his life, his accolades, his, you know, houses and all these material items where he's, you know, using them as symbols of his success. I'm like, that doesn't interest me. You want to turn me on? You want to fucking turn me on? Challenge my mind, challenge my intellect, challenge my perspective, challenge my belief systems. That's what turns me on. What you have does not turn me on, unfortunately. I wish I was that girl. I wish I'd be set for life. I'd be set for life. If I was interested in a man for only his money, I'd be set for life. I've had a lot of men come into my life, especially when I was younger, who have promised and were very successful men, but I need more. I need substance, you know, and I'm just not, I mean, love is a man who is successful and is connected to his purpose. He might not be making money now, but as long as he's connected to that, you know, that vision that he holds for himself, and he's committed to that path, and he's following it and pursuing it and going for it, that's what turns me on. A man connected to his purpose. And generally speaking, men who are deeply devoted and connected to their purpose are successful, and that also turns me on. But I need more than that. So yeah, that was my experience, and now I'm driving my car and I'm looking to sell it, and I'm just trusting in the flow of life, that life will support me and that the universe will support me, that God will support me. I actually feel like the universe is God. Like the universe is, it diminishes God. Like God is the divine, and that is just beyond the universe. So I trust in God, and I am the creator of my reality. So I trust in my ability to get my fucking shit organized and get this car sold and commit to this path of travel and to commit to the unknown and the mystery. Like, I'm here for it. So that's my little rant about this situation I'm in. I have 2 weeks before I leave. I'm going to the beach today because I need some self-care, and I was meant to do something else today, but I cancelled, and I'm on the way to the beach. It's going to be a really magical time going overseas. I'm starting to get excited. I was feeling really scared, but now I'm like, actually, I've got this. And yeah, I want to know what you think about this. Like, have you ever come across somebody that has promised you the world but had ulterior motives? Later in the week, a man came to see and visit me, which was amazing. We met several weeks ago in Sydney through a friend, and we clicked. We have really beautiful intellectual connection. We're so worlds apart. Like, yeah, we're just worlds apart in the sense of he's very much in the party scene, which is so fine. I am too, but I don't. Yeah, it's just great. It's just really great. So I love the contrast. I love the challenge. I'm going to see him when I'm in Thailand in a couple of months. He's going to show me around, which is really exciting. He's polyamorous as well, which is amazing. I'm really leaning into non-monogamy, and like what I notice with him is I can just talk to him about anything and everything. I'm like, this is great. I can tell you about all these men that I've been attracted to, and I can tell you about, you know, other connections that I might be interested in. Like, I don't have any right now because I'm about to leave, but he's like, you're going to meet so many gorgeous men in this one particular Copenhagen in Thailand. I'm like, great. And he's in full celebration of it, which feels really good. And I'm just not a monogamous person. I'm really not. I need my freedom, and I know that's such an avoidant thing to say, but the way I feel is just so much spaciousness. And it's so fascinating because, like, I don't feel avoidant with him at all. Like, I'm not nitpicking him. I'm not looking at him like there's anything wrong with him, which has been a huge pattern of mine. But I'm also not anxiously attached. I'm not, like, fantasizing about a future with him. I'm not, like, thinking about what might be. I'm not, like, in this sort of state, which I have been a lot the last fucking 25 years of my life. I'm 34 now, but ever since I could have a crush on somebody, that's what I would do. So it feels really good to be in this very centered and grounded place, and to not feel like the connection is threatened, and to not feel like he feels really secure, and that's making me feel really secure. Like, there's a dance that we're doing, and it just feels very, like, I'm not overthinking messaging him. Sometimes I forget to message him because I'm, like, busy. So I'm not, like, preoccupied thinking about, oh my God, he's messaged me, I need a message back. There's no attachment. It's so fucking refreshing. It feels so good. It feels so fucking good. So yeah, that was a beautiful ending to my really busy, crazy week. And yeah, so I'm on a mission. I'm I'm gonna get my car sold, I'm gonna go traveling, it's gonna be amazing, and yeah, life is good. But I want to know from you, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe now. But I also want to know from you in the comments below, when have you experienced something like this and what did you do about it?